wasn't even the music. It was like, oh, why won't Drake grow up and go, and we'll get into the Joe Budden thing.
We can get into Joe Budden.
That's where Joe Budden, because I don't know if you saw this or followed this.
Yes, I did see that one.
Joe Budden gave his critique of the Drake album. If you watch the whole thing, was actually he did like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he said, the big moment, he said is, go, I think you have the clip.
Yeah.
Go fuck with some girls your own age. Go grow up and this and that, right? It wasn't mature.
But they didn't agree though. Like there was one cat that didn't agree with the Joe.
Yeah, Flip didn't agree.
Yeah.
Flip liked it. But then
continue. I'll look for the...
So then what happened is something, and this is where it gets different, that I didn't expect. I don't know if anyone expected it. He responded. Like someone
Joe
put
Budden.
up the... No,
Drake responded with a long
tweet.
post, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Where he basically,
was it a tweet or Instagram?
It was Instagram.
Yeah.
Where he basically roasts Joe Budden and says he's a loser and this and that.
Yeah. And this is exactly where you land if your career is over, etc. Yeah.
Exactly.
I cannot find it.
So,
but keep going.
Okay. That's where the album even sounds different to me after that happened. Then, if you watch the whole world is waiting for a Joe Budden.
How did that change?
Because it tells me that he's really in a dark place.
Who is?
Drake.
The fact that he responded, that he responded multiple times, even went into videos and images and all kinds of stuff. He even got at one of the guys in the podcast, Parks, who was on the album as a producer or something.
Yeah, he got at Parks.
Yeah.
Who's also on so he's a part of the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Called him Mark Zuckerberg. Shout on him.
But that shows that he really...
No, they say... So if you watch the thing, they said that one of the people on the Joe Budden podcast said that they had gotten news that he watches this podcast. He actually watched... Like he might even... Because they have a Patreon, so some of it is behind a paywall. I watched the Patreon. And one of them said he even watches that. We don't know that. We have no evidence. But there is reason to believe that he at least follows it. He's aware. Right? And then... The whole world's waiting for Joe Budden to respond to what Drake said. What does Joe Budden do? He releases the response behind the paywall.
Yeah.
On Patreon. I subscribed to the Patreon. So I watched that whole response. I watched Joe Budden. I like Joe Budden. I like his podcast. It was a very Joe Budden response. A very mature Joe Budden response because they've had a longer beef. If we're going to talk about all of it.
Pump it up. Yeah.
If we're going to talk about all of it, we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
But basically, he says... He stands on his critique, but he also says like it seems like he's unhinged.
But was it salty though? Like was Joe salty?
No,
it was just a critique, like objective. What?
No, Drake is Joe Budden is a Drake fan for sure.
Okay,
Joe Budden is a Drake fan.
Joe Budden was
and that's why I know because I watched Joe Budden. They'd been hyping up this album the whole time, waiting for it to drop, waiting for it to release, this and that, and they were just like a lot of fans, by the way.
But was he hyping it just to tear it down?
No, they were hyping it to actually listen to it. Joe Budden calls Drake one of the best rappers, all time, best artists all the time.
But he doesn't like him as a person.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
We don't know that yet.
Like they have been having beef. Like
but they have been having beef. But Drake is also one of Joe Budden's biggest fans. Like Drake is like a heavy Joe Budden fan. Not only in the podcast sense, but also in the music sense. In before, like that is the reason. That's also part of the reason why.
You know how many times Drake dissed Joe Budden?
Yeah, because he dissed him. Because Drake disses people that he admires and that don't.
That's what he does.
This goes back to the not.
The whole beef with Kanye is also because he fucks with
the not being accepted, right? It stings, and this is a bigger thing with Joe Budden. When Joe Budden critiques people, it's different. Because Joe Budden, whether people and he
has an actual stage,
exactly, but no, it's also different. And he said this also in his response. Because one of the things that Drake was pointing out is why you shouldn't be critiquing music because you failed. And what Joe Budden was saying is, listen, when I come on here and I critique music, I do that as someone who knows that he's one of the best rappers ever. Whether I made it in music or not, I'm one of the best rappers ever, and I know that because some of the best rappers ever have told me that. Right. I agree. As someone who knows of the Joe Budden story,
history,
did he succeed as a rapper, successful, wealthy? No. When it comes to lyricism, if you're into that stuff, there is nobody like Royce respects him.
There's a couple people that get.
You just know that if you were on Slaughterhouse, you know how to rap. That's as simple as it is. So that hits different. Nicki Minaj has said a similar thing to him before when they had their little thing. She said to him, "Listen, what you critique it is different. You're not Charlemagne who doesn't make music. You actually rap. We respect you as a rapper.
Look,
so when you come and say it's trash, it's not the same as when someone else does.
Maybe people don't. Maybe people don't respect Joe for his own stuff, but they definitely respect his shit for Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, his ability to rap. His ability to rap
in Slaughterhouse and everything with Eminem he did is not to be fucked with. So when he says your shit is bad as a rap song or in bars or whatever like that, it hurts for these people.
No, 100%.
And I get that.
He now has one of the biggest hip hop ish platforms.
Yeah.
They do a lot of people watch this thing.
I think this is the review part where he says the thing that got Drake a little bit heat. Let's see if this is the right part.
Nigga was when I finished listening to the album. You are 36. Your birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that too. You will be 37 years old. Get the fuck away from some of these younger niggas and stop fucking these 25-year-olds. I'm listening to the album.
He mentioned it.
Why are you still fucking the 25-year-olds? You're a 37-year-old billionaire. I get it that you appeal to the world.
I'm gonna stay current.
I get it that you appeal to the world, and part of that is
niggas don't want to grow up.
But that's what I'm loving about Cole. Like, my shit is happening in reverse. Like, with Cole, he used to rap about kid shit. I'm a grown-ass, like, real Jersey City nigga. I don't want to hear how you lost your fucking virginity. And then he started to grow up. And then the rapping sounded like an adult rapping. I'm want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people. This nigga.
So, early on, in my first couple listens of the album, I had the same feeling. I thought, is this really what you should be doing right now? But after listening to it, sitting with it more, I disagree. This is Drake. This is what this man is. This is his core. He doesn't really need to do. What Joe Budden is asking for, adult Drake, is what he's getting.
That's what
this is what he's getting.
This is what he's doing.
This is him. So he is misunderstanding it, and he, in the response that we can see later, that I'll share later, he does not realize that, or he basically does not acknowledge that, or doesn't go into that, and whatever. Drake is trying to explain this to him, I think, from the need as well, from what you said before, the whole being shunned earlier.
Some sort of validation.
He's looking for validation from hip hop media and from everybody. Like, I'm showing you what you guys are asking me. Like, you guys, and this is what
wasn't you guys' point that he actually isn't doing that anymore? He's sitting at the table at the moment. Like, he worked his way up. Some artists,
look, he's not sitting at his table. He's sitting at a separate table.
His own table.
He has his own table in the same room where he's alone. He's not. They are not putting him on. Like, he's not being put in the same table as Jay-Z or J. Cole or Kendrick or whatever.
No,
he's being put at a separate table.
On that point, right? Because J. Cole mentioned Drake, Kendrick